Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from Tinaheals.com, and this is the continuation of the Midheaven series. So the Midheaven is the 10th house of the zodiac. If you look at your natal chart, you will see it is at the very top of your zodiacal horoscope. And it is an angular house, 10th house, so it's a very important place. It is how you will be recognized in the world for all the work you do, how you will be remembered, the legacy you will live, okay? You will leave behind, not live, you'll leave behind, okay? So if you are ever faltering for a sense of purpose, it will be worthwhile to look at your 10th house, the ruler and the aspects and everything together, and you will see that you will find a renewed sense of purpose with what you do and with how you operate in the world and how the legacy you want to live. So having your rising in Libra, you have your 10th house in Cancer. Both these signs are cardinal, and cardinal means changeability, flux, shift. Okay, not very grounded energy. Yes, it does change very easily, but it does not mean that cardinal adapts very easily, okay? And Libra is very dry and is ruled by Venus, of course. And your MC is ruled by the moon. And this is cardinal, so flux, change. And the ruler of Cancer is very important to look at, because this is ruled by the moon, you know. Cancer, it's all things feminine, it's our menstrual cycle, it's our fertility, it's our thoughts, but it basically fluctuates the most in the skies above. If you look at the moon, she's forever changing. So your career will also be changing, and it's best to do something where you are closely attached with emotional ties, because Cancer is all about emotions and also providing care, because Cancer is the sign of the mother and the child. So it's a very fertile energy. So yes, children can be a symptom of, a symbol of fertility, but so can creative ideas. And Libra, ruled by Venus, is very, very creative. Okay, yes, it can understand money, it can understand banking, finances, it can understand interior decoration, Libra, and it can understand spatial perceptions very well, because it's Venus, right? But Cancer Midheaven, you're more prone to finding something that whereby you help out, or something connected to women, or something connected to with nurturing, because this is, Cancer rules the breasts. So immediately you realize that this is about nourishment and nurturing. So, whatever you do, Libra risings with a Cancer MC, you remember to care for it. Because if you are doing something that you don't care about, you will not see substantial rewards. But if you do something where you are emotionally vested, then yeah, it is going to really, really pay off for you. But Libra and emotions can be, slightly contradictory. So you have to see how, and moon does not retrograde, Venus does, so that's a ruler of your rising, but the moon does not retrograde. So internalization of your work life is essential, okay, because you don't get the time to internalize it, because the moon is so fluctuating. So you need that time to really think about what you're doing and how connected you are with it when you have a Cancer MC Midheaven. You need to be connected, you need to be vested in it, emotionally vested, not just, oh, it's my money and I'm gonna have to do it, or it's my job and I'm gonna have to do it. And Cancer rising, yes, you can be very particular about paying the bills, and Libra also likes things to be in harmony, and financial stability is important to Libra. It's a Venus ruled sign after all. So you want to have your finances in order. You want to know that, yeah, okay, you've got something saved up for a rainy day. Don't forget that. Cancer MC, that's something to think about. And also spending when it comes to emotional situations, because Libra rising can do that. And now we are moving on to Scorpio rising with Leo on the MC. Midheaven is your 10th house, and the natural ruler of the 10th house is Saturn. It's Capricorn, of course, the sign. It's the 10th house of the natural zodiac. So, interestingly, Scorpio, you are a very private person, and everything that happens in Scorpio is under the scene, okay, behind the scene, under the surface. But your MC is Leo, which is ruled by the sun. So here you are, you know, the work you do, if you do it well, you will be as illuminated as the sun, simply. So many Scorpio risings can also be actors, because, you know, you have Leo on the MC, so literally, you know, posing for things, or you know, acting. Whereas Scorpio understands the emotional duality. It is a Mars ruled sign. It's feminine though. Okay, Leo is masculine, but Scorpio is feminine. So this is Mars through a feminine sign, water, and it's cold, you know, and Mars is a malefic. So Leo is, of course, ruled by the sun. Sun can be both malefic as well as benefic. And interestingly, with the Leo MC, it's something where you need to be seen. You need to do something where you're seen. You're visible. Okay, and some of you Scorpios, you are like, okay, no, I don't want to, you know, be visible. I want to be behind the scenes, and that's all right. Say if you're a private investigator, or if you're a spy, then, you know, the most successful spy was never known. Literally, that is how it is. James Bond is not the most successful spy because he's known. Of course, he's a work of fiction, but you get my gist, right? So it's about how you are perceived by your community, and the work you put out there, you're going to shine in it. And these are two fixed signs, so you have tremendous endurance. But with the Scorpio rising in Leo MC, it's something you have to be passionate about. Now, the key to this is understanding Mars. Mars is passion. So, you know, you are being fueled by passion. And the sun not only brings a healthy sense of ego, but the sun brings illumination to things. Without the sun, the moon would not shine. So the sun realizes its potential, that not only is he here to, you know, shine bright, but he lends his light. And that is what the Leo MC needs to do, lend their light to other people. But of course, with the Leo MC, you like to be a boss, like, you know, with the Aries MC or a Capricorn MC. So employment by yourself, especially with that Scorpio rising, you want to be employed by yourself, because, you know, if you are working under someone, sparks could fly, literally, because you're not the kind to be subjugated or to, you know, be silenced into submission. You're just not the person, so it's not gonna work out if you are stuck in a job like that. Whereas acting, any kind of public speaking, because Leo, you know, sun, without the sun there'd be no process of individuation. So public speaking can also work, because Scorpio deals with very deep issues. And if you've found a very interesting, adventurous and intriguing way to explain it, then that is expressing the healthy expression of your Leo MC, which is ruled by the sun, because you bring illumination, you bring light, you know. Fixed fire is like a bonfire, and people gather around it, especially in cold countries. Not just in cold countries, also in our culture, like India. We gather around fires. We light bonfires for every single sacred ritual that we do. You know, our pujas, we have havans. So it is like, you know, having this power with the Leo MC, you are out to shine, and to not just shine in an egotistical way, because, you know, think about how the sun is just right. You know, his warmth, his heat is just right to sustain the solar system. If he was too hot, we'd be burned down. Okay, all of us burned out. If he was too cold, there'd be no life to talk about. So his heat has to be just right. So that's how you need to go out there, because Scorpios can also be perceived as more malefic than they are, more dangerous than they are really. So, you know, that's something you've got to work with. But once you master that, you are out to shine like the sun. Now with the Sag rising, you have Virgo on the MC. Very, very interesting. Two mutables again. Sag is, of course, ruled by Jupiter, the greater benefic, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Okay, Mercury is all about data. So when you have Virgo MC, you think about teachers, because Sag rising, you have that Jupiterian teacher side to you. But you also think of someone who fixes things, Virgo. Okay, someone who fixes things. And Virgo also deals with the physical body and the health. So being a surgeon, a doctor, or anybody in the medical practitioner or any kind of healing field. And you could even teach about it, because, you know, here you have Jupiter, which is a symbol of gnosis, and you have Mercury ruling your MC, which is all about fact gathering. And you know, in fact, we live in a mercurial age. We are going crazy with viral videos and just fact gathering online. Okay, so that is something to really think about with Virgo MC. That you need to not only fact gather or do tons of things, but it's not as bad as Gemini 10,000 if you have a Virgo rising, but because Virgo is more steady. And Virgo doesn't do small term planning like Gemini does. So here you have this long-term planning, and at least you're methodical. Virgo can be OCD about method and optimizing everything. This is like the key word. And Virgos realize, with your MC in Virgo, realize that there's no perfect job or no perfect situation. You make it perfect. And every day when you work on it, it gets better and better. It gets more adapted to your auric signature, to what you are supposed to do. Okay, a Virgo, working with your hands, taking things apart and putting them back together is such a hallmark of Virgo. So, you know, fixing things, coming up with innovations, or, you know, just gadgets, or even app, anything online, because Virgo, Mercury is information. And of course, all kinds of office work, but with the Sag rising, you definitely don't want to be, you know, stuck behind the desk the whole day. So although you're not very fixed in what you do, this is something you need to learn. But again, I will say this 1,000 times, Virgo is more fixed than Sagittarius and Gemini, the other two mutables, and Pisces, of course, the other mutable. Okay, here you are, you know, grounded. Here you know that you have work to do. Work also deals with diet. So, you know, you could come up with something related to diet. Maybe somewhere else you traveled and you thought of something to do with diet, and that could be really, really effective for you. Okay, now Capricorn rising. With the Capricorn rising, you have Libra on your MC. Okay, now Capricorn, interestingly, is the natural 10th house of the zodiac. So you are the boss of the zodiac, like, you know, the sign that knows, that masters everything, because Capricorn is Saturn's domain, and Saturn's domain is about mastery. So sometimes it is not just mastery of the world, but self-mastery that you're looking at. Okay, Capricorn. And Libra can be very dualistic. So having Libra on the 10th house, ruled by Venus, and both cardinals, you want to start something. But Capricorn is more cardinal earth, and Libra is cardinal air, and air scatters really quickly. So to really ground the energy of your MC, Capricorn, you need to be vested with Venusian things. And yes, you can be a great hoarder, and you're very, very much attracted to the five senses, and you're very, you know, into enjoying what the five senses have to offer. If you go back into the myth, Kronos castrated Uranus and gave birth to Aphrodite. So there's a connection of Capricorn, Kronos, and Saturn to Venus. Saturn, being the lord of the seventh planetary sphere, is bringing down the energy of the celestial realms, and using the funnel of Venus as the five senses, and is giving it out, distributing it out to us. So with the Libra on the MC, this is how you'll be recognized. This is how you leave a legacy. So Libra deals with money, deals with arts, craft, and here I think the interior decorator, the builder. Okay, although Taurus is known as the builder, but Capricorn is very, very much about endurance in building. Saturn, you know, everything you see around us, all the hierarchies are Saturnian. So here you're basically looking at food industry, restaurateur. You're looking at beauty industry, you know, really having your own beauty brand because you have the Capricorn rising. Clothing, makeup, skincare, you know, even stuff like cosmetic surgery. Like you could be a doctor. Many Capricorn risings can be doctors. So you could be a doctor and you're into, you know, the plastic surgery side, or anything. Even if you're just like dealing with, you're an obstetrician or a gynecologist, we're dealing with, you know, the feminine private part. So that's Libra again, right? Feminine, Venus. So there's a beautiful synchronicity that can happen with Cap rising in Libra on the midheaven. There's just so many possibilities with this music, because, you know, Capricorn gives you that endurance, and you have that musical side to you with Libra, you know, where you want to compose, maybe you want to play, and you have that staying power with that rising if your Saturn is well placed. Okay, and if it's, say, a day chart, because Saturn does well in a day chart. So, you know, think of how you can bring creative expression, and Libra is very much about us. So, you know, whatever you do, it needs to be about us. And interestingly, Capricorn is like the patriarchal umbrella that is provided so Cancer can birth. And Capricorn's MC is again feminine, which is about us. So you see how the masculine and the feminine are not truly masculine, and the feminine are not truly divided. They are just two sides to the same story, if you ask me, okay? Without Saturn, there's no Venus. Without Venus, there's no Saturn. So they are absolutely interlinked, and they are they sort of complement each other, right? Now, Aquarius rising, your 10th is Scorpio, and both fixed signs can. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology and Uranus in modern astrology. And Scorpio is, of course, Mars. So this is a polarity rising and 10th house ruled by two malefics. So it's not that, okay, you know, it's going to get worse. It's worse than the others because it's a malefic party zone. It's not that. It's just that, you know, you may have to go through a lot of hurdles. And it's not something like Venus or Jupiter, but it's Saturn and Mars, you know. Saturn teaches through restriction, and Saturn teaches through restriction, you know. And that's Aquarius. And of course, Scorpio is Mars, and Mars cuts and burns. So it's a difficult energy to assimilate, actually, if you ask me. But once you look at Aquarius rising, this is about innovation. This is about really extraterrestrials, deep space, technology, things that we did not think about, like, say, 10 years before. This is the path of the future. And have your MC or midheaven in Scorpio, you want to dig deep. So whatever you do, whatever you invent, it's not going to be something superficial. Your work life, your social recognition is not going to be something superficial. It's going to go deep, and it's going to penetrate society if you're, of course, channeling the higher vibes of these signs. Because Aquarius wants to, the polarity of Aquarius is Leo. Everything is about, is for me, all my innovation. That's what Leo says, okay? I'm the king. But Aquarius is like, this is my innovation, but it's not to feed my ego. It's for my community. So Aquarius can be very individualistic as well. Like I've always told you that the key to Aquarius is understanding how you stand as an individual in your community. To have your individuality, for you cannot lose that. And Aquarius does not want to lose that. Okay, that can be the greatest drive. Yet Scorpio is very, very much an individualist. Mars is alone, the lone soldier, the lone wolf. So with Aquarius, Scorpio polarities, of course, Scorpio on the 10th, you want to work alone. Because if you're being dictated around in office, you're not going to be happy. And whatever it is you do, you have to really dig deep into it. And that's how Aquarius and Scorpio are. They're tremendous with their staying power. Tremendous with how they stick to an idea and execute it. I mean, Aquarius is air, which scatters and doesn't really stick to anything. But Aquarius, because of its fixed modality, is the most secure of all the air signs. It's fixed air. So he is feeding that Martian impetus to Scorpio, that, okay, go ahead, do things. And Mars rules Scorpio is more lethal than Aries. So here you could be like a military person, strategist, somebody who does black ops, covert things. And this is very possible, but even with a Scorpio rising, where you have Leo on the rising, you could be in the military and you could be doing covert ops, but there you are more, it's more possible that you become known because you have the Leo MC. But with Aquarius, you have the Scorpio MC. So, covert black ops is really good with this. Anything that has to do with things that are hidden, even psychology, sexuality, because Scorpio definitely deals with sexuality and the sacral chakra, right? Now, Pisces rising, your MC or midheaven is Sagittarius. Okay, ruled by Jupiter, and Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology. Of course, Neptune in modern astrology, but I take the traditional rulerships. They are more nuanced, you see, so they give a better reading. So two Jupiterian signs, right? Here you have Pisces rising with Sag on the MC. So this is the two signs that are ruled by the greater benefic Jupiter. But like I told you a million times, it just because, two signs are ruled by the greater benefic doesn't mean all will be well. No, because Jupiter deals with expansion. It could be good expansion, it could be bad expansion, but it deals with expansion. So you have to be ready for that, you have to know that things can just expand, and Jupiter is all things sweet, and there could be cravings, and there could be a sense of bigotry with the Sag rising that, I know and nobody else knows. I have the whole picture, nobody does. But Pisces is ultimately about spirituality, mysticism. Yes, it's about incarceration, addiction, escapism, but it's so much more than that, It's a mystical side of Pisces that you need to tune in. And then you have your Sagittarius 10th house, you can teach about it. You can travel to places. Sag deals with foreigners. And, foreigners receive you very well when you have a Sag on the 10th. And people are really willing to listen to you. You can leave a huge legacy in foreign lands if you have a Pisces rising. So, you are very open and very adaptable. Sometimes that can be super awesome, but sometimes it can be very challenging. Because, you know, if you're just looking to be flexible and change, you can't ground that energy. Now, Jupiter can be an empty bag of promise. You need Saturn to ground. So when you have two Jupiter rule signs, you know, grounding it. Saturn is the root, Jupiter is the branches. So, you know, to ground this Sagittarius rising, you could work with diplomacy, you could work with philosophy, higher education. You're probably educated, you could be a professor, okay, of sorts with that, because Sag deals with higher education. So that is definitely an area that is open to you, teaching or university level, or even making YouTube videos for university level students. Okay, because there's this beautiful artsy side to Jupiter in Pisces. Mutable Jupiter in Pisces can be very artsy. It's water, it's feminine. Jupiter through a feminine sign is beautiful. Remember, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, fellow water signs. Jupiter loves this watery expression that Cancer and Pisces has, you know. So that's something to look at. Now with Aries rising, okay, you have your midheaven is the natural zodiac. Capricorn is your midheaven, okay? And I've been saying it all the videos that Capricorn is the 10th normal house ruled by Saturn, 10th house, the normal zodiacal wheel. And it is the domain of mastery. So the 10th house is where you master something and you leave a legacy. So Aries, you've got the solid natural zodiacal energy. You've got Saturn as the ruler of your 10th. So once you put that pioneering Aries energy and you ground it, Saturn will help you manifest. Because when you have Capricorn on the MC, you can be a restaurateur, you can be, you know, a government official, bureaucrat. Once you, of course, adjusted Aries Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So once you've got that under control, you can be anything. All the hierarchies you see around are Saturnian. Okay, maybe you won't be an opera singer, but you could be, because whatever Saturn puts his mind to, he achieves. And that is the moral of the whole story with an Aries rising. There is nothing that you cannot do. And remember, Aries and Capricorn are again two malefics, ruled by two malefics, Mars and Saturn. Okay, and Mars cuts and burns, and Saturn teaches you through restriction and confinement. So whatever you do in life, you have to put up a fight for it, Aries. You have to stand your ground. You have to maybe defend yourself. You have to master everything that Saturn is teaching you. That is a part of the whole thing. It's inherently connected to the whole story. But you are a pioneer. And working for yourself is probably the best idea, because you don't like to take orders from anybody. Okay, you don't like that, and best you stay away from that. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can even be into tech, because Aries is very visionary like Aquarius. So, you know, there's a very painting. Tons of Aries rising people are painters, and they have the endurance and the Saturnian, you know, mind frame to execute all their ideas. That is important. Ultimately, you know, 6th house gives you the impetus, it's feeding you. You have Virgo, it's feeding you. And now 10th house, Capricorn is even more long-term than Virgo. So it's grooming you into action. Beautiful. Now with the Taurus rising, you have Aquarius as your MC. Very, very unconventional, because Aquarius is a very unconventional sign and Taurus is very conventional. So, you know, there's a dichotomy that's being played out, and this is Venus and Saturn. And I told you how Venus is connected to Saturn, because Saturn gave birth to Venus by castrating his father Uranus. And then Venus was born from that semen. So you see how Saturn and Venus are connected, and he's also Saturn, the great, is exalted in Libra, which is a sign ruled by Venus. So, you know, this is an interesting dynamics that's playing out. And with Aquarius on the MC, what could you do? It's how you will leave a legacy. It's how you'll be recognized. Pioneering something. Visionary. You are... Aquarius is definitely the eccentric, but it is all about the community as well. It's about the individual, but it is also about the community. So here Aquarius is honestly, Aquarius MC is honestly asking you to not just look at normal possibilities, but to go beyond. Look at what else, what do you really want to do with life? Because you're again two fixed signs, so there's not a lot of giving in, there's not a lot of change and flux, so you stick with what you have. And Aquarius, this is the age of Aquarius, computers is Aquarius, so Taurus rising, you can build an app and you can become a multi-million-dollar if you sell it to Apple. So all of this is very possible when you have Aquarius in the 10th house, because Aquarius, remember, at the heart of it deals with community. Large communities, online communities. So Taurus, you could be teaching yoga class to a huge online community, and your fans may not even be in real life, but just online. Aquarius is deep space, so you could be an astronaut as well, because you want to, or you study space exploration, or you study astronomy or astrology, because Aquarius deals with astrology. So you could be studying that. You could be a great astrologer with a Taurus rising. Could be a great speaker. Taurus has a beautiful voice and Aquarius is a great orator. So that possibility, of course, lies. And as I said, space, technology, robotics, AI. Taurus rising, Aquarius, 10th house, AI, work with AI. And even Taurus is very tactile and very sexual. So even AI that deals with sexuality. A companion AIs. There's something crazy like that. And Aquarius is also about abstraction. So, and Taurus is got nothing to do with abstraction. So you see how sometimes the Taurus can tune into the Saturnine abstraction. Because if you look at Saturn, Saturn is like a wall. What he holds, or think of Saturn as these arms. What he holds in is Capricorn. What is outside is Aquarius. So that's limitless really with an Aquarius 10th house, what you can do and what you can't do. There's no end to it, okay? And especially in the age of Aquarius. Now if you have Gemini rising, and of course your 10th house is Pisces, and this is interesting, two mutables, one ruled by Mercury, the other ruled by Jupiter. Gemini is about data gathering and Jupiter is ultimately about wisdom and gnosis. So you are definitely, and Jupiter also deals with higher education, justice, fairness. But Pisces is a very dissolving energy. That's why Neptune has been given the modern rulership of Pisces. Okay, it's where we've had the whole zodiacal journey and now we are ready to return to source code. So it makes you very spiritual, actually, Gemini rising, to have Pisces on the 10th house. Pisces midheaven. It's pretty crazy. You could be a healer. You could be a psychic. You could be a tarot reader, astrologer. You could even be into any kind of alternate healing or writing about mystical things. Because Gemini wants to write, making videos. Pisces also has that, video celluloid quality to it. I would say day-to-day viral videos are with Gemini, but, ultimately film is Jupiterian and Neptunian, right? So yeah, film, acting, because you have Pisces midheaven, they're queen of celluloid, modeling, Gemini gives you that versatility to interact, and having the Pisces midheaven, you give out the dreamy vibes and people just wanna, watch you, whether photos or videos, people wanna watch you. So Pisces also deals with healing other people. So working in asylums as a psychologist, working with mentally disturbed people, working with addicts, working with sex workers, educating them. This could, because it's a very compassionate, Christ-like side to Pisces. So, you're very, although we don't associate that with Gemini, but once a Gemini has truly found herself, then she knows that she wants to help others. And yeah, she may talk a lot, but a Gemini is ultimately very good at heart and they want to help. At least as they mature and they grow, they want to help. So could even be working in luxury hotels. Pisces rules 12th house deals with luxury hotels. Beauty as well, of course. Don't forget that Pisces does have a lot to do with art, spiritual, mystical art, as well as the spiritual, mystical beauty, like the mermaid-like beauty and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed the Midheaven series. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think and book a reading, and speak soon. Bye.